Unusual phenomena grip China. Public fears signal a possible earthquake. Heavy snow strikes Heilongjiang again, potentially breaking historical records. Analyst, approximately 20 million unfinished real estate projects in China. Chinese regime makes rare gesture to ease real estate giant Vanke's market panic. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Unusual phenomena grip China. Public fears signal a possible earthquake. Recently, unusual occurrences have been reported in different parts of China, raising concerns among the public. On November 13, a resident from Xiong Town, Shaanxi County, Heilongjiang, Guangxi, shared a video suggesting a large number of birds forming a dense black mass in the sky over the village, some densely perched on power lines. There were worries that this could be a potential precursor to an earthquake. Some online users suggested that these birds were swallows, originally planning to spend the winter in Guangxi. However, they unexpectedly faced a rapid drop in temperature, preventing them from flying away in time. However, concerns were also expressed by netizens who speculated that this might be a warning sign of a disaster, stating, "When things deviate from the norm, it's alarming. Animals are very sensitive, let's hope for the best, without any disasters." In response, the local earthquake bureau stated that the abnormal phenomenon of a large number of flying birds is not necessarily linked to earthquakes and may be caused by changes in weather. Nevertheless, the official response has only fueled mockery, with many suggesting that the Earthquake Bureau's function appears to be notifying the public of earthquakes post-occurrence. Some netizens said, "That's what they said during the Tangshan earthquake. Last time, there were bubbles before the earthquake, weren't there? It feels a bit frightening." There seem to be quite a few unusual occurrences recently. Not stopping here, on the 14th, a netizen from Dandong, Liaoning, shared a video claiming to witness continuous bubbling in the water at the Yula River in the Volunteer Army Park, an exceptionally uncommon sight. Heavy snow strikes Heilongjiang again, potentially breaking historical records. 1 week after a severe snowfall in Heilongjiang resulted in loss of life, another heavy snowfall is imminent, with precipitation levels potentially reaching or surpassing historical records for this period. According to the Heilongjiang Provincial Meteorological Bureau, from the night of the 15th to the 17th, significant rain, snow, strong winds, and a temperature drop from west to east are expected in Heilongjiang province. The eastern part of Heilongjiang is anticipated to experience a snowstorm, with some areas facing heavy or even severe snowfall, possibly approaching or exceeding historical records. The weather conditions during this process are complex, with rain, snow, or wet snow in the eastern regions, overlapping with the previously heavily affected areas. Most areas will experience wind gusts of 7 to 8 levels, locally reaching 9 levels, significantly impacting transportation, communication, urban operations, energy supply, agriculture, and animal husbandry. Moreover, freezing rain is expected in some parts of the eastern Heilongjiang region. Mainland Chinese netizens express concerns, saying, "With this weather, highways will be closed, and delivery drivers won't be able to get anything." Others said, "This year is all extreme weather, heavy rain in summer, heavy snow in winter, rewriting history. It seems the heavens are calling for souls." Not long ago, Heilongjiang recently experienced a heavy snowfall, resulting in the collapse of the Yucheng Fitness Sports Center in Huanan County, Jiamuxi, and the roof of the Cathay Funeral Parlor. This unfortunate incident led to at least 3 deaths and 1 injury. In another incident, a man in Boli County, Cathay, was suspected to have frozen to death in heavy snow. On the 6th, Fujian City, Heilongjiang, also witnessed thunder snow, considered by some as an ominous sign. Analyst, approximately 20 million unfinished real estate projects in China. On November 15, Nomura Securities, a prominent Japanese financial services company and one of the largest securities firms globally, unveiled a report that shed light on the staggering revelation that around the close of 2022, there exist approximately 20 million unsold presale residential properties in China, a magnitude equivalent to 20 times that of Country Garden. This disclosure comes directly from Mr. Liu Ting, chief economist for China at Nomura Securities. Analysts put forth an estimate that the completion of these construction projects would necessitate an investment of approximately 3.2 trillion yuan, roughly $440 billion. Nomura analysts elucidated, in the scenario of a 20% increase in new housing completions this year, developers would only be able to fulfill 48% of presale homes sold between 2015 and 2020, leaving 52% of presale homes in need of delayed delivery. In China, the customary practice involves selling apartments before their completion, and ensuring developers adhere to delivery timelines has consistently been a government priority due to the potential negative impact of delayed deliveries on people's willingness to purchase new homes. The Nomura report conveyed, we posit that as the real estate industry faces a downturn and developers encounter a widespread credit crisis, the impatience of buyers awaiting the delivery of new homes may escalate. Furthermore, analysts cautioned that at some point next year, delays in property delivery could morph into a social issue, endangering social stability, and Beijing may eventually need to substantially increase policy support. They emphasized, we view this as critical for restoring confidence in the real estate industry and the overall economy. In the preceding year, numerous Chinese homebuyers opted not to settle home loans for projects grappling with prolonged delays. Consequently, the Central Bank of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, injected 200 billion yuan, approximately $27 billion in interest-free loans into 6 state-owned banks, with the aim of providing financing for thousands of stalled real estate projects. However, a report by the Financial Times in September indicated that, after nearly a year of planning, the lending rate was less than 1%, mainly because banks struggled to identify creditworthy developers. At present, the CCP is endeavoring to revive the housing market through low-cost loans, but this strategy has yet to yield positive results. There are reports suggesting that the CCP is contemplating the utilization of policy tools such as targeted lending and mortgage supplementary loans, PSL, to provide phased low-cost funds to policy banks, ultimately channeling funds to families intending to purchase homes. Nevertheless, some analysts view PSL as a controversial tool. In 2014, the CCP Central Bank initially employed PSL in an attempt to reverse the downturn in the real estate market. However, the plan led to a real estate bubble in second- and third-tier cities, attracting severe criticism. Chinese regime makes rare gesture to ease real estate giant Vanke's market panic. Vanke is a major Chinese residential real estate developer that has long been viewed as a model real estate company. However, after 2 of the world's largest real estate developers from China, Evergrande and Country Garden, plunged into default, Vanke is also facing a crisis as sales plummet in China. In response, the Chinese regime is giving Vanke a rare show of support. Since the beginning of this year, the price of Vanke shares has plummeted 42.6%, and in October, the price of overseas US dollar bonds also plunged. The yield of several bonds has risen to about 50%. Since bond yields are inversely proportional to bond prices, bondholders sold their bonds at lower prices. This has led to speculation that Vanke stocks are about to crash. Investors also fear that major shareholders may reduce their holdings in Vanke, which would inevitably lead to a sharp drop in Vanke's stock and bond prices. State intervention eased market panic. Since Vanke is headquartered in Shenzhen, the city's State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Commission, SASAC, has come to the rescue in an attempt to save China's stagnant real estate sector. The SASAC is directly under the Chinese Communist Party's State Council and is responsible for managing China's state-owned enterprises, SOEs, which are backed by the regime and constitute a significant part of the Chinese economy. The Shenzhen branch of SASAC said that Vanke has sufficient security and is an important member of the country's state-owned assets system. If necessary, in an extreme situation, the SASAC will support Vanke through all means. By the end of 2022, Shenzhen City's state-owned capital totaled more than 5 trillion yuan, $690 billion. There are more than 40 A-share listed companies in which it holds or participates in. The top shareholder of Vanke, Shenzhen Metro, has taken over as vice chairman of the board of directors of Vanke Group. Shenzhen Metro Group, a large SOE under the direct control of Shenzhen SASAC, has become the largest shareholder of Vanke since 2017 and currently holds over 27% of Vanke's total A shares. Shenzhen Metro said it will not reduce its stake in Vanke and has prepared various means to support the real estate developer. It will take the opportunity to buy bonds issued by Vanke in the open market to boost market confidence. Vanke is a state-private mixed-ownership real estate enterprise. This time the Shenzhen SASAC considered Vanke as a part of the city's state-owned assets. Vanke's total assets, operating income, and total profit constitute more than 30% of Shenzhen's state-owned assets. Data shows that as of the end of September, Vanke's contracted sales ranked second among China's real estate developers. Despite its sales amount, Vanke suffered sharp falls in stocks and bonds. Yang Fan, a real estate industry analyst at Zheshang Securities, believes that this reflects the Chinese market's pessimism in the real estate sector, and it will be difficult for the real estate market to recover if such a negative trend continues. The Shenzhen SASAC's support for Vanke greatly reduced its risks, and it temporarily eased any market panic. On the day of the SASAC announcement, Vanke stock and bond prices rebounded by more than 6% for the first time in over a month. Morgan Stanley upgraded Vanke's H-share rating from underweight to equal weight due to Shenzhen SASAC's support for Vanke. Many banks, including HSBC, maintained their buy ratings. China's SASAC rarely supports real estate companies. The fact that Vanke has received strong support from the SASAC is privileged treatment. Other failing real estate developers in China have not received the backing of the SASAC and have entered debt restructuring. But the backing of Vanke is being seen as policy coming from the highest levels in response to the overall crisis in China's real estate sector. On October 30th and 31st, Chinese leader Xi Jinping's regime convened at its Central Economic Work Conference, which was aimed at preventing and resolving financial risks in real estate. Less than a week later, China's central bank issued guidelines to support local municipal governments to save the country's real estate sector. The Shenzhen officials' use of the city's SASAC to support Vanke will be viewed as a political achievement under the Xi regime's economic policy. Some market analysts in China believe that Shenzhen SASAC's actions indicate that the Chinese regime's current economic priorities are to save the remaining relatively healthy real estate companies to retain foreign investments. By the end of June this year, only around a dozen of China's listed real estate companies maintained a relatively healthy financial outlook. In the second half of the year, the number continued to decrease as their revenue dropped sharply. However, even if the regime's new policy comes out to support the so-called healthy real estate companies, it will only benefit a dozen or so companies at most and will have a limited impact on China's real estate sector as a whole. The private sector will unlikely have a chance. The current trend for the regime is to expand the regime's SOEs at the expense of the private sector. Li Kai, pseudonym, an employee in the financial sector in Shenzhen, on November 9 said that private companies in China have always been discriminated against by the regime since they pay more taxes, have more difficulties in financing, and simply do not enjoy the same privileges as the SOEs. A decade ago, Vanke ceded its major shareholding to an SOE in order to be treated favorably by the regime. Under the CCP, private companies can never truly be successful on their own. Mr. Li said, now the entire economy is in decline, and the major shareholders of state-owned enterprises themselves have no control over their futures. He continued, this time, Shenzhen SASAC's move is a gift to Xi Jinping's economic policy, but it is also because Vanke's assets are larger than its liabilities. The gesture of Shenzhen SASAC can stabilize the market confidence to a certain extent. However, Vanke would still be dependent on actual sales. If properties remain unsold for a long period of time, Vanke's crisis will return. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. If you find the information helpful, please share this video with a friend to watch together. This will be a great source of motivation for our team to produce more and more quality and reliable videos. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths. Thank you for tuning in.